All right, hello, collective. This is Shaman Dr. Fryson, and I decided to do an extra reading for you guys. And this is the AstroNumerology reading, and it is going to be from October 11th through October 18th, or maybe the 17th. We'll see how far I go. So let's see the lesson that you guys will be dealing with. Remember that my readings are based from the New York time zone. If you are in a different time zone, you need to adjust the readings accordingly. And I am going to do a special drawing so that someone can win a free mini reading with me. And anyone who comments on this video, sorry about that. No matter where you see it. So if you see it on YouTube, TikTok, or Facebook or Instagram, if you comment, I'm going to enter you into a drawing so that you can have a chance to win a reading with me. And then I'll pull that after this week is up. So it'll be after the 18th that I pull that name. So we're going to pull a energy card for you. This is a lesson card for this week. Gratitude. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. Remember that no matter what happens, what is going on in the world, we must find gratitude. There's something to be grateful for each and every day. And if you live your life with gratitude in mind, you will find that it becomes a much better life. Okay. So let's start with the numerology energy for the United States because we're in a 1 month and the individual day is based on like your date of birth for numerology. So we're going to go with the United States date of birth, July 5th, 1776. And if we start there, October 11th becomes a sixth day in the United States. So this is a time for you to be supportive, to communicate with people around you, and definitely support people. It is a good time for having meaningful conversations and discovering new aspects of your friendships. Perhaps you and a friend may be divided on some issues that seem big, but in reality, they're trivial. It's a good time for you to express your feelings openly. Watch out for looking at what used to be and your ego. And it's a time to focus on what is and what can be. Good colors for this day are bright red, yellow, mustard, sea green, and silver. Let's look here at the moon energy. We just had a big new full moon, and right now for the, let's move this to the 11th. On the 11th, the moon will be in Gemini. Okay, so this will be and again, moons move through. This is not necessarily the moon, or the full moon, or anything like that. It's a waning moon, but it is the moon in Gemini. So you will have energy to support, and you will receive energy that can support you, but you have to act. Impulsiveness is going to be your friend. You can't think too long on a problem. If an opportunity comes your way, you're going to be called to just say yes. Okay. You got to have a little bit of patience and you do need to focus. Okay. Be attentive so that you can take your time to resolve issues in the best way. And this is a time for you to let your intellect be your guide. Okay. This is going to be a good time for business. Remember, this is October 11th. And if you are defending a thesis or something, you can have success, but it is not a good time for you to change from one thing to the other. There's a lot of change going on, and it's like too much change, right? So you need to just wait off, hold off a little bit, and you can make a change later. So this is also a resting period for people. Let's see what this moon is doing. So there's will be some small things to worry about, but not not too much. So let's move on and see. On the 13th, we get the moon in Cancer. So this is a emotional type moon energy. So you definitely have to take time and master your emotions. And still, you want to act on projects, but you don't want to act from a standpoint of fear. You don't want to act like, fear of missing out. You want to act because it's a good opportunity. You will improve your confidence during these times. And then if something doesn't require a lot of speed, like you'll be drawn towards that things that don't require you to act today because you do like to think a little bit. But this is a good time to trust your instincts. Go within and be like, okay, ask yourself the question, does this have great potential? If the answer is hell yes, then go for it. If it's maybe, that's a no. And if it's no, of course, that's a no. Okay. Matters of the law and antiques will bring you prosperity. So you have to be careful with your money this time and don't lend any money and don't take any credit during this time. Okay. Not a good time for either one of those. Let's move the moon again and see when the moon moves to Leo. That's going to be on the 15th. So the Leo energy is different, right? Leo is not necessarily what you would consider a fan of the moon, but it kind of is because Leo's ruled by the sun, and the sun and the moon get along together. That's like the husband wife duo, right? But the Leo has to take advantage of the power that the moon brings. The moon brings some insight, and so therefore the Leo can be successful in anything, in sports and culture, entertainment, celebrations, anything. Just choose. That's what it's causing for you to do is make a choice and then you can be successful in it. So it's really good. You can have some problems with finances because the moon does reveal things that aren't exactly up to par where they need to be. So be careful there. And then you can win some money through gambling, but don't do too much. That's where, Leo has to temper itself. So the 15th is a good day to make a small wager if you are a betting individual. And then on the 17th, we get the moon in Virgo. And now the moon in Virgo, it's time for you to do some work again. All right. So good time for you to approach your different tasks with a practical approach, meaning make a list, check it off, make sure you dot the I's, cross the T's, get everything done. Okay. Again, a good time for finances, and you should be able to find a way to improve your income, make some side money, right? There might be a side thing that you do that will allow you to earn extra money. Be careful. Well, that's a little bit later. We're not going to get into that. We're only doing to the 18th. You can have some extra luck during this time. It is a good time for business, but you must be punctual. You must be responsive. You must be logical, and you must be neat in your dress. The moon is going to enhance your intuitive abilities. Use that to your advantage. If you have a business that is dealing with accounting or drawing up reports or any kind of scientific machinery or mathematics, it's going to be a good time for you. And those of us who are astrologer numerologists, who, we're good with the numbers and things, good time for us as well. Okay. Avoid dealing with large scale projects and pay attention to long term matters, right? So you got to break the projects up into smaller pieces that you can deal with. Okay. So, and I know Virgo, the moon kind of sometimes throws your intuition off a little bit. But if you have been meditating and you have made your list and checked it twice, you can rely on your intuition at that point. All right. So let's go down to look at the astrology portion of it. Again, we are going to go from the 15th, so I'm going to have to shift my days. The 11th, I believe, is the day I wanted to start. Let me double check. The 11th. Yes, the 11th. So we're going to start with the 11th. So starting with the 11th, first thing we notice is that we have Cancer, which is ruled by the moon, in the first house. And then we have the moon over there aspecting the first house, which brings about more secrets, secrets in the home, secrets in the body, revealing truths. And then we also have K2 aspecting the first house as well, definitely revealing some truths, right? So we're going to start out with the 15th learning, I'm sorry, the 11th learning some truths, and that energy is going to reveal things that can help us expand in our life to move past this point, or it can be crippling to cause us to be feel imprisoned by the information, such as you get news about a new disorder. You can have, there is a energy of someone who is mentally unstable impacting your ability to expand. So that is happening still. The other energy that's here is the sun and Venus is together. And the sun and Venus is together in your third house, our third house, those of us, right? So it's everybody. It's this energy that, again, that's another aspecting situation. This time, it means your plans are being highlighted, but you might not be able to communicate them as well. They are good plans, but they need more attention. They need more details. So if you're making a plan with a business, if you're making a plan with a home, if you're making a plan with a career, if you're making a plan for moving, making a plan for weight loss, you need to put some more details in your plan because it's missing some key pieces, right? Needs a little bit more to it. Now, there is in the home life, unfortunately, I do see the energy of people doing, I guess, drive-bys, shooting up homes. That is unfortunate that that's there. So I know we've had a lot of schools be, have some shootings and things of that nature, but this energy is showing up in the home sector. And there's also a situation of some bombings at places of employment, um, some jobs, some let's see what type of places. Let's look at where is that? It is, let's look at what type of places will be. What type of places where the bombings occur? Castles, main halls. So those are buildings that is difficult to get to, where major organizations, where it looks like that type of bombing might take place. So a fort is, it doesn't have to be, it could be a military institution, it could be a government building, it could be something like that where a bomb or communication about a bomb being revealed in that area. Um, hmm. Another, they had an announcement about something related to health. There's going to be another announcement about a technology related to health that's going to be made available. Again, there's going to be a downside that, yeah, it's probably going to be cost too much money for an everyday individual to use it, but it is going to be available. Let's look at we are still, I'm reading different parts of the chart. So by the way, I'm looking for different sections to see which parts are really important at this point in our during this week. It is a good time for certain businesses outside of the government because we know that's having an issue, but other businesses can have some prosperity, especially if you have a spiritual business. It looks as if that business too can take off during this week, can actually flourish. Um, and then if you are in like 30s or close to 30 and you're like wondering about life, don't worry because right now, after you're 30, after you turn 30, it's a great time for you to achieve some success. So there you go with that. And back to that other energy I was talking about with the pew pews. Let's see, there's also, see, I read energies. Um, Another place where you could have the pew pewing happening is in a shop, like a grocery store, a mall, or someplace like that, a business where there's a lot of people, a trade show or market or something like that. So be extremely careful if you're going out because you have two things happening. You have a bombing type situation and you have a pew pew violent type situation happening in those two areas. Um, I see the expansion of a prison, of something that is considered a prison, a restriction energy that is happening as well. Let's move on. There's an announcement coming of a technology that's sunsetting. So that could be a program, and I'm going to say Microsoft. I don't think it's Microsoft, but that could be a program like Microsoft Word is sunsetting, or it's a big program, a program that people know about or are used to, has been around for a long time, but it's sunsetting. They're getting rid of whatever that program is, which is going to change how people deal with learning, education, and technology with whatever that program is that they're going to get rid of. Hmm. Wonder if it's a computer system or because this reminds me of a typewriter, but anyway, they're sunsetting something. Okay, let's move forward to the 13th. The 13th, the 13th is going to highlight that first house again, which is your body, domestic sector. Um, but then there's also the movement in the government career sector as well taking place. Looks like there's also some cruelty. A decision will be made that seems rather cruel on around the 13th, 12th, 13th. So somebody's going to be harsh. I imagine that they are not going to open the government up on that day, that they're going to deny people more things, more funding, more different things are going to be denied during that time period. Um, there's going to be more people with some circulatory issues that leads to their transition. And you could expect more people having heart their heart failures, unexpected, young people, young people having circulatory and heart problems. That's around the 13th. Then we move on. Let's go back to the on the 15th. The pew pewing that I told you about before, that the shooting that takes place in workplace violence on the 15th, and then the fire type action at a like a prison, a hospital, some type of institution, a church or something like that. That's the 15th. Bombing, something, some kind of explosive thing, some kind of, either way, it's violence in both of those sectors. But it's going to be gun violence, and the other one is going to be fire violence or something to that effect. And it could be also take place in the jungle area, where somebody has intentionally set a forestry type area on fire. That's also possible. There's an expand okay. So now there's an expansion in the government sector, starting on the 15th. So it looks like around the 15th through the 15th and the 16th, there would be communication about, I guess, opening up the government, maybe partially opening something or doing something with the government. There will be some conversation coming out about it in the morning of the 15th. Go back, go back. Yeah, the morning of the 15th. There can be conversation coming out about talks about opening the government back up. But there's an influence from Saturn. That influence from Saturn means there's going to be some more delays because people are looking at the contracts and not liking the contract because the contracts are revealing information that could send people to prison or whatever they're looking at. Is the information contained in the contract causes imprisonment. And that is why there's going to be more of a delay. um, but there's some feminine energy leading the charge towards op- establishing that communication and opening the government industry back up. And this is very specific to the United States. So if you're watching me from somewhere else, that part will not apply to you unless your government is also dealing with a government shutdown. What might apply to you if you're watching outside of the United States is that there may be talks and contracts being signed in your government to expand your government. So this could be expand in some type of horticulture. So perhaps there's going to be conversations that allow you to export some things or import some things, but there's going to be some strings tied to that contract that's going to imprison you to the person that you're working with. So if you're working with a country and it looks like they're going to give you so many millions of dollars, but there's going to be some secret things that you have to do that your country has to do that is not going to be beneficial to the country. And that thing that happens might, in fact, kind of sell out your people, right? So outside of the US, that's what that energy means for you. Inside of the US, it's directly related to the government and the current shutdown that's taking place. Now, also happening on the 15th, that same day, there's an awful lot of energy on that day. But there's also this beauty brand or beauty eye of the beholder, beauty brand, beauty something some type of beauty in the beauty industry um, thing is coming out that day. And so it actually looks like a product that's geared towards young males. It almost feels metrosexual, the product that's coming out. That's what it feels like. So it's kind of a, you know, girls or boys or whomever can both wear it kind of product being announced domestically. Uh, Something dealing maybe for the face or head. It could be a cap or something. It's something in this area that's been announced, whatever it is that's coming out on that's the 15th. Yeah, 15th. Remember my dates, write the dates down. My condolences because of all of the different death items that are taking place. And then there's another set on the 16th. And this time, this is a secret death that's taking place, meaning that somebody is going to be made, it's going to look like it's a stage death. Let's say that. It's someone's going to die and it's going to look like an accident, but it's going to be on purpose. That's on the 16th. Okay. Hopefully we will move past this energy. I know it's slow moving, but eventually we will move past it. Um, there is another energy that's showing up here. And this one, so there is a new scientific or technology type research coming out. And that is the 16th. The information is coming out, this technology is coming out that's supposed to be beneficial to the health. This information was stolen. This information, the people that put it out are not the creators or owners of the technology that's coming out. So they stole it, and eventually you're gonna see a lawsuit of something like that, trying to if they don't eliminate everybody because that information is not theirs to put out, but they're gonna put it out. You know, latest greatest tech to help with health, and it's not their product. It's not theirs to give out. So, um, hmm. And then let's see. Let's go on. Looking at the 17th, we do have a little bit of light so occurring, just a little bit of brightness occurring on the 17th, um, where I can see that someone may have a plan to do some pew-pewing, but it's going to be stopped. They're going to be caught before they actually have the opportunity to do some damage, which is really good that they're going to stop one, which they could stop all of them. And that's it. That the same. There's going to be an effort made in the justice system to put things in place to prevent all the pew-pewing. That's right now the 18th, so 17th, 18th, 19th. Someone is going to try to put forth something that makes it harder for that to happen, makes it harder for these young males to obtain the weapons to do all the pew-pewing. Okay? So that's that. That's a lot. That's a lot. So I hope this information is helpful to you as you navigate life. And this is all the ending on the 18th, because remember I said the 19th, 20th, 21st, for most of you are not good travel days. For some of you, even through the 26th and 27th, not good travel days. And for some of you, it stops on the 24th. You have to read your individual rising signs to see which ones are good and which ones aren't. But that's the more breakdown of what's happening in that span of time, from the 11th through the 18th. Let me know in the comments what you think. Remember, everyone who comments on this video, no matter which platform that you see it on, you will be entered into the drawing. And then after the 18th, I will pull the name of the person who gets the free mini reading. And then you will get that video probably the 19th or the 20th. Okay. All right. Be well.